Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Please Listen podcast. I'm your host, John Follett, and this is a very special episode because for the first time in this show's history, I have a second real-life person on the program, not a doll, not a rock. I have a real human being, and it's none other than my beautiful girlfriend, Catherine. Let's give a warm welcome to Catherine. Hit the applause button. Nope, on the left. All the way. More. Hit it again. Hit it one more time.
I think it's this one.
That's not the...
Well, that one?
The applause button stopped working. Okay.
Okay, so it's going to be this
Everybody, welcome Catherine to the show. You're probably wondering why... That's great and all. She's great. Catherine's great and all. But why is she here? That's probably what you're wondering. On this episode of all episodes where we talk about a Star Wars movie. That's because Catherine she's sort of a rare breed. In that breed, yeah. She's a rare kind of person in that she's never seen any Star Wars movie. Isn't that right? She hasn't seen a single second. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Not even 1 second. She hasn't seen a single movie of any of the Star Wars movies.
No, I saw one. I told you.
She has not seen a single second of any Star Wars movie. And so I thought it would be funny, interesting. I thought it would be an interesting social experiment to take her to this movie, this new Star Wars Disney Lucasfilm movie, The Mandalorian and Baby Yogurt.
Baby.
And see what her thoughts were as someone who has no idea what a Star Wars even is.
Exactly.
Catherine, if you want to just give us a summary of what your experience with Star Wars is before seeing the movie, like what do you know about? What did you know about Star Wars before, and how much have you seen?
So I saw a movie I don't remember the year actually. It was like 2015, 2016.
Which
I know
one?
that I don't remember the title. I just don't remember the title. I know there's the Darth Vader is the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know there's a Luke.
Luke's cool.
Yeah, and I know there's a girl with like a weird...
Leia?
Yeah, that one. Chewbacca. I like Chewbacca.
Oh, yeah, you like Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. And
Arturito?
Arturito.
Mm-hmm.
Call him Arturito. And then the golden guy.
C-3PO? Yep.
What year that movie came out?
1977 was the first one.
Maybe that was not the one that I saw.
No, if it has Luke and Han, that is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's either that or the two sequels, but those both came out like...
Harrison Ford,
the GOAT. Press the applause button. Just kidding, it doesn't work.
So it's like that.
Yeah, you want to try the buttons?
Yeah, wait. Which one is which one? I need to know.
The applause is supposed to be... I don't know why the applause one isn't working. I use that one the most. Maybe I wore it out. The next one...
What's that?
That's...
Yeah, no.
That's the explosion one?
This is good for like the intro. Like.
Yeah? Oh, yeah, I guess so. That's if you say you mess up or you do something embarrassing.
I'm going to be using that one a lot. What's that?
That's a SpongeBob sound effect.
What's that?
Slide a whistle.
But that...
I don't use that one that much. They don't have to have a...
Damn.
That's from Gravity Falls.
Really?
Yeah.
That one's my favorite.
That one... I don't use that one that much, actually, now that I think about it.
And I love you.
Yeah.
And I need you. Okay. Yeah, that one.
That's the nerd alert alarm. If I talk about nerd stuff, I sound the alarms.
Okay.
Because I could go on for hours. So I prepare everyone.
Okay.
That's if something sad happens. That's if I tell a bad joke.
I'm gonna use this one.
Damn. That's if I tell a good joke.
I know there's like an empire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Darth
Empire?
Vader's in the Empire.
The empire.
The troopers work for the Empire, the stormtroopers.
So I thought the white troopers were the good ones and the black troopers were the bad guys.
I did tell her that recently that, no, the troopers, for the most part, are evil.
Yeah, so...
Most of them are white. The armor, most of them is white. But they're all evil, so...
Troopers are all bad.
Well, there's probably some good ones in the mix. There's one that like defects and becomes a good guy who was a trooper.
Oh.
But the troopers are like a invention of the the bad guy. There are actually other white ones, the clone troopers.
What's the
Um,
difference?
Oh gosh. So there was three. Those are from the prequel trilogy. Those came out in like the 90s, and they were clones, and they were an army. They had white armor similar to the stormtroopers.
Mm.
But they were like built with like a contingency to flip and become evil.
Okay.
So they were good guys for a bit, but then they became bad guys. Anyways. So that's all you know about Star Wars?
Yeah.
I mean, you went to Disneyland
Yeah.
with the Star Wars. Did you recognize anything that happened? Did you gather any information? You saw BB-8?
No, I like the ship.
Oh, the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, that
That's
was cool.
That's a cool one.
That was cool. I think we didn't spend that much in the Star Wars.
No.
No, we were like, let's go.
You know, Oscar Isaac's in Star Wars.
Yes.
He's in the sequel trilogy,
Yes,
though.
I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Disneyland park is based on the sequel trilogy, so it's like that's set
Mm.
like 30 years after the ones that you watched. It's set after the movie we watched, even. Like
What?
Like with BB-8 and Rey and the guy that looks
BB-8?
like Darth Vader. Remember the little orange ball droid who has like the R2D2 head?
Is that the one that I said? Dorito.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's BB-8.
Okay.
That's set like way in the future.
So what's the timeline though? Which ones are?
There's the prequel trilogy, the ones that came out in the 90s,
Uh-huh.
those three, and then there's the original ones, the one that you watched, and the two sequels. Those are from the 70s. Those are set, and then there's the sequels, which came out like the first one was like 2015, and those are set way later.
Okay.
And they're like the latest thing in the timeline. And there's a bunch of like shows and things in between different things. Anyways,
Good.
my experience with Star Wars is a little more colorful. I have a lot more knowledge. Despite, if you ask me, if you were like, what do you think about Star Wars as a whole, I'd be like, it's fine, it's all right. I did grow up with some of the movies. I watched some of the Clone Wars. That's one of the animated shows. If you ask Star Wars fans like the best Star Wars thing, they would say the Clone Wars. But I only watched some episodes as a kid on Disney XD or whatever channel it was on.
Good.
Oh, Disney XD?
That one's really good.
I thought you were about to see like, oh yeah, I've seen every episode of the Clone Wars.
No, the Disney XD. My childhood right there. Yeah, I love it.
You actually, you love the Mandalorian, right? You were a
Pedro
big
Pascal?
fan even before
I like Pedro Pascal.
you watched all 3 seasons of the show, right?
Of course.
You were.
All 3 seasons.
You know his whole story. You go season 1,
Season 1.
season 2,
Yeah, and I was
and then what else was after
We
season
have-
2?
season 3.
Well, you forget. After season 2, he shows up in another show called about Boba Fett, and he's in like 2 episodes.
Yep.
That's actually very important. There, you miss a big character
Chunk.
development thing. Because at the end of season 2, he gives Baby Yoda away to Luke. Spoilers.
Huh?
Luke shows up and he gives Baby Yoda away because he's like gonna train him to be a Jedi. And then the Boba Fett show,
A Jedi?
yeah, like with the
That's
lightsaber.
that's him?
Well, he has the Force. Yeah. You
well-
forgot about the Boba Fett show. And then it's season 3. And I was a big fan of the Mandalorian. I really liked the first 2 seasons. I liked his episodes in the Boba Fett show. Season 3 kind of lost me. After the first 2 episodes, I won't get too in depth about the show, but I don't know. I was less excited about this movie than I would be if I had just seen the first 2 seasons. But it's kind of surprising in like a movie about the Mandalorian, because it's the first Star Wars movie in 7 years to come out in theaters. They've just been doing shows about the Mandalorian. He's not like a Jedi. Most of the movies are about Jedis or
He was a Jedi.
Jedis are because Luke's a Jedi. They have the lightsaber.
Oh, the lightsaber.
And they wear the
people.
robe sometimes. And
So those are the good guys.
yeah, for the most part.
For the most part. Okay.
There's not a lot of them by the time Luke is alive, because during the prequels they all got killed, most of them.
Oh.
There's like only like a few around the galaxy.
Mm.
And what was I saying? Yeah, so this movie's not about like a Jedi. It's not about like the Skywalkers. It does have some elements from Star Wars that I'm kind of like, yeah. And this is why I wanted to see your thoughts on the movie, because as someone who has seen so much Star Wars things, they have these tropes and these kinds of like characters or these plot elements that they reuse all the time, and I'm kind of like sick of it. But you not knowing any of that, I wanted to see
No.
how things like appeared to you. And we'll get into specifics. I first wanted to mention that I first wanted to issue an apology to you. Oh wait, because I should have known the type of audience that was gonna be there when we watched a Star Wars movie on opening night. It was an interesting crowd for you, probably.
Yes.
We were
I
sandwiched.
knew. I knew the moment
We were
the
walking in.
moment I
There were people
sat
behind
down.
us with like Baby Yoda shirts and blankets. They all bought the popcorn buckets with the little drink topper. There were two guys on either side of us.
Yes.
They were both wearing flip flops. They both had the shorts and like
The shorts.
think of a Star Wars fan and then that's the image pops in your head. Like that's the kind of guy.
Yeah.
The guy next to you, what was he doing?
I don't know. He had like a bag of Sour Patch, and then mind you, that I don't know. That guy was probably like 50 years old, like 40 something. He was throwing
He was just going
Sour Patches like crazy. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
because I guess he had a big party because I think he had all his kids like in the row behind him.
It was the whole road.
Yeah,
It
and
was
he
like
was
a big
he
family.
was feeding them like a
The
pack of
Sour
piranhas.
Patches, I don't know if they were catching those or it was
There's
just
no
like,
way. And he did it for a long time, like
Yeah.
half the bag probably.
I tried to like stare at him and I'd be like,
Mhm.
"What are you doing?" But he laughed and I found it fun. I don't know. I was like, "We're gonna have such a great time."
The guy on my right, 30, like probably a minute into the
He was-
movie, he falls asleep. I could hear him just, like snoring, and I'm like, "Why are you even at this movie?"
Yeah.
I thought if you were there on opening night, you would at least care about the Star Wars universe and want to see like what's going on. But
He
as
was
soon as the
tired.
he was awake during all the trailers. I guess he's there to see the
Yeah.
trailers, and then he's just. I mean, he woke up like maybe like a few minutes after that. And then you also had a problem with them clapping at the end of the movie.
I knew.
You were like, they look
I-
like people that would clap.
Yes, I saw them and I'm like, those are the people that clap when the airplane lands. They're gonna clap at the end of this movie. And guess what?
They did.
They did, and they were all like clapping, like, wow,
I don't think I've been to a Star Wars movie where they
Wow.
don't clap at the end.
wow.
That's just.
Is that how the Star Wars fans are? Did you?
Star
clap?
Wars fans are a
Why can you
different
clap?
breed. When? I've never clapped at the end of a movie. No way she just said that. No way. I forgot there's more buttons here.
What? See, I
The
was
black
like, this
keys.
one I like. Yeah, this one I was
Yeah.
like.
It's like a like a shocker moment.
So you're not considered a fan then?
No, I said I'm I'm a fan
Wow.
of specific things, but as Star Wars as a whole, no. Star Wars fans are a different type of breed. I mean, that's that word again. A different breed. The more you know.
The more I know.
Without further ado, we can talk about the movie itself now, I guess. And I just wanted to first off ask you, what do you look at my notes?
Yeah, I was like,
Well, it says here, Catherine recaps the story of the movie. So if you want to just give us a good plot summary of what happens in this movie, a thorough
spoilers.
good idea. I always forget to
spoilers.
say spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers for the Mandalorian and
Spoilers.
Baby
If
Yoda.
you don't want spoilers, you can just.
Click off.
Yep.
All right.
Well,
There's a text at the beginning. What does the text say?
the text, it was something about a rim.
Oh yeah, the outer rim. You're like,
The
"What is
outer
that?"
rim, yeah. And then I remember the rest.
Okay, I'll help you. I'll set the scene
Yeah, you
because this movie is set after there's the one that you watched, and then it has two sequels as part of the trilogy. This one's set after that last movie, Return of the Jedi is what it's called. And at the end, the Emperor is killed. He's like the leader of the
The
Empire.
Emperor?
Yeah, the
Darth
Emperor.
Vader.
No, Darth Vader works for the Emperor, and
Oh.
Darth Vader kills the Emperor.
Then who's the Emperor?
The Emperor, he's like kind of gray face. He looks very old. He shoots lightning.
Okay.
And at the end of the movie, Darth Vader like turns good and he throws him off of a like
He
now
turns it.
good. Yeah, he brings balance to the Force is what it's called
Wow.
by killing the Emperor. But then he also dies, and Luke is sad. And then they blow up. They build.
And then that's the scene for like, I'm your father.
No. That's in the second. That's in
Okay.
Empire Strikes Back. He's still evil during that time.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. You don't need to know this.
Okay.
He throws the Emperor off, and they blow up. They build a second Death Star after they destroyed the first one, and then they blow it up, and the Empire is done.
Okay.
And in the text at the beginning of this movie is like the Galactic Empire has been taken down, but there's little like stragglers left, people that are like trying to rebuild the Empire or who still believe in the Empire. And the first like scene of this, the first like action scene is like the Mandalorian like stopping one of these like Empire like outliers that still exist, like because these fights like the stormtroopers. So there's that first action. You remember the one in like the snow, the action scene in the snow?
Yeah.
I like that first. My favorite parts of the show and of this movie are when the Mandalorian is just messing up a whole group of people. That's when I'm like, he's so cool. And they have a scene in this that's like a one take. I like those long take like no cut action sequence. They have one like that for this. But what happens
Oh.
after that? He gets the guy,
He gets
or no, he kills the guy.
no. Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah, and then he gets picked up,
Yes.
but in a plane.
Mm.
Do you remember the pilot of that plane?
Like the purple one?
Yeah, the purple guy with like the. What'd you say he was when he first showed up?
Huh?
What'd you call him when he first showed up?
I don't know. The Thanos brother?
Yeah. That's yeah.
I mean, he was purple
He was purple.
and he was like an alien. I was like, oh my gosh. And
You had no idea who that was? That's Zeb, by the way. He's from an animated show that was on Disney XD also called Star Wars Rebels. And he was in like one scene.
he's the first time like he ever like shows in a movie that was not animated.
In a movie, yeah. He was in the Mandalorian season 3 for like one scene.
Oh.
And then he's in this.
Oh, okay.
But he's like not that. He's just the pilot. You don't really need to know anything about him.
He's not like an important character.
He is in the Rebels show, but I never seen it, so he's not important to this story. He just flies the Mandalorian. What can you do?
Oh. Okay.
And then he goes to the resistance. He works for like the or like the New Republic is what it's called, like the new government that takes over after the
See,
Empire.
that threw me off because the Empire is like
They're bad.
they're bad,
Yeah.
and so the good people, like the good
Mhm.
side, is the Republic.
The New Republic. So they're
So
like,
there was the old Republic.
I think so. Yeah. The old Republic was taken down. Leia, like Princess Leia, the girl with the buns, like she's like one of the main leaders.
Okay.
And so like they're good, but sometimes they're like, it's complicated because they're still like a government body, so they're not like fully good. They're trying to.
Star Wars are very like in political, like bad, but it's like the governor, and then
There is a lot of politics, especially in the prequels. A lot of fans, the politics is like the most interesting part of
really.
the franchise.
So if you don't understand like the politics in Star Wars, like what they, you
I mean, you might if you find it boring, you won't like the prequel trilogy. A lot of people love the politics of the prequel trilogy and like that era. After the prequels, it becomes more, it becomes less complicated, where it's just like the Empire's bad and we have to take him down. But before, like seeing the Emperor rise to power, he's like maneuvering. What do you have to do?
it doesn't work.
Oh yeah,
anymore.
these don't have any. It's this one. Yeah.
They changed.
Yes.
That one.
Let's give it up for the New Republic. Yeah.
What is this?
It's sensitive to how hard
Okay.
you touch it.
So the Mandalorian works for the New Republic.
Yeah, now he does. By the end of
Okay.
season 3, he works for them, and he's just because he used to be a bounty hunter.
Oh,
Where a bounty hunter,
No.
where people give him people to either kill or capture.
Yeah, okay.
Usually, it's like criminals,
Mm.
and that's why in this he's like, I don't do that anymore. I don't work with criminals anymore because he's like become more of a good guy. He goes to the New Republic place. Who does he meet?
In the New Republic?
Yeah, the lady with the
Oh, Alexandra. From
Sigourney
Daredevil.
Weaver, who is a very popular actress from the movie Alien, the classic horror movie Aliens. You know her from Netflix's The
Alexandra.
Defenders.
Yes.
I'm glad that that's your frame of
Oh, yeah, it was
reference.
the Defenders, not that role.
And that's all you need to know her from. Epic fail.
Whoops.
When the movie started and he was fighting like Imperials and stormtroopers, this is one of those parts where I'm like, really, we're doing this again? Because so many Star Wars things are about fighting stormtroopers and the Empire. And so it starts off with him doing that. I'm like, is the whole movie just going to be him hunting empirical people? And it's basically just like A New Hope, but he's, instead of Darth Vader, it's another guy who's trying to rebuild the Empire. And they even have that. There's other shows too that exist like in the Mandalorian world. There's one called Ahsoka about a Jedi. She's orange. Didn't I tell you about Ahsoka? She's orange. She's played by like Claire from Daredevil.
Oh my gosh, we saw Claire at the Star Wars what was it, like the ride, but it's
Star
like the
Tours is what it's called.
what?
Star Tours?
Stars, yeah, that one. We saw Claire. I was like, Claire.
That's new. They added that where she's like, hey Disney fans.
Mm-hmm.
But
I like Claire.
she has her own show, and in that, the bad guy is a guy who's trying to rebuild the Empire, and he has an army of stormtroopers. And I'm like, we just did this. Chronologically, we just did this. But it switches to where instead of he's not hunting it, he captures or he kills the Imperial guy, and then he has a job to find this guy something coin. The Sigourney Weaver gives him a card. They don't know who the person is on the card, and he has to go see.
Oh yeah, there was no face in it.
Yeah, and he has to go see these interesting mob bosses. You had quite a strong reaction to that.
I was like, what is that? I was like, what? Wait. It actually kind of sound like.
Wait, where's the puke?
No.
Wait. Where's the puke button? Puke button. There we go.
Yes, I was like.
Because he goes and he meets the Hutts, and they're the Hutt twins.
What are those called? Hats?
Hutts. Hutt. Hutts.
Okay.
They're these big, slimy. Because in that third movie that I talked about, worm slug creatures, they're ugly, so ugly, and they're related to, and he meets. Well, who do they go get? Who do they ask Mandalorian to go
for
save?
Rada.
Rada the Hutt. One of the best characters of this movie. Oh, he's kind of cute.
I thought it was like a good, like they were like, we need our nephew back. So I was like,
Oh, they care about him. They show you like a hologram of him as a baby.
yes, and I was like, oh,
Ugly baby. Nothing like baby yogurt.
Aw.
You were like,
I was like, no.
yeah.
And then, no.
Aw.
Because they show like a baby.
Mhm.
No, at first when
No,
I
the
saw
baby
the baby,
was
I was
ugly.
like,
So you're like, oh, they gotta go save this baby, and he shows up to this planet, and it turns out the baby has grown to where he's a big, muscular
he had abs.
Hutt. He had abs. He had biceps, triceps, and he was like a gladiator. He was doing gladiator fights, and he was really good at it.
Yeah.
And in this movie, he's voiced by. This is what the one thing I was excited about for the movie. He's voiced by Jeremy Allen White from The Bear, main character of The Bear. You don't know. You've never seen that movie or that show.
Oh no.
But I told you, I was like, he's voiced by the guy from The Bear, and it's funny because they like pitch his voice down when he plays Rada, but you can still hear like his inflections in his voice. So I thought it was interesting. And this is he has like all these. He's always like, I'm not like my dad. He has like this sad like character struggle. And I always wanted just to have the ugliest aliens and give them like actual real drama. So I'm glad that this movie did that. So Rada the Hutt is the son of.
Is that the first time he ever like shows up like those creatures?
No, Jabba the Hutt, who's Rada's dad, was in the original 3, at the third one of the original 3, and they kill him.
Oh. He was like a bad
He was a bad yeah.
creature.
He had like slaves and stuff like that.
Wow.
He has Leia enslaved. And Leia chokes him to death and they kill him. But also, actually, before that, in the Clone Wars animated series, we see Rada as a baby. He's in a few episodes, and he's in it. That's the only place that he's been.
Oh.
So you being like, who is this guy?
Okay.
You gotta go and watch You gotta go back and watch the Clone Wars. What was I saying? Oh yeah, then the twins, we saw them like for a few seconds in the Boba Fett show, I think. But they just took over. There's the Hutt crime family. So these big fat guys, they're all just crime bosses. And he goes to save Rod. He's like, I'm gonna bring you back to your aunt and uncle, and he doesn't want to do that. They do the same scene twice with Rada, where he's like, I'm not like my dad, I'm different. He says that, and then there's another scene, and then they talk again, and Rada says like the same thing. I don't know. I was like, you just said this, dude. Is this all you're gonna say for the whole movie? And then he meets this bald like other crime boss. And he's like, I'm here to...
Fitz.
Fitz?
Yeah.
Who? What do you mean?
Oh, Fisk.
Oh yeah, he does look like Fisk. He's bald and he kind of has like the Fisk like suit, and you were grossed out by him.
I don't know.
I didn't think he was that interesting of a villain. He was just like kind of there. And he's like, that's the coin guy. Ryder tells him that that's the coin guy, and that he goes, he's ex-Imperial, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's another Empire guy. Is this what we're gonna do? But he captures him and he takes him, and then that's like the end of him in the movie, the Fisk guy. Yeah. There's the scene where they trap him in the gladiator match.
Oh, well, that was cool.
That was a cool moment. They really like having Mandalorian fight big monsters.
Yeah, remind me of like the Thor.
Oh yeah, like the Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
But he does that so much. He fights big monsters or big robots. In this movie, he does like 100 times. Yeah. There was a reference that I got. Where, you remember there's a big monster that picks up the other monster, and throws him? Mm-hmm. That's a reference to they have like in Star Wars, like space chess, and it's like little monsters on the hologram. Mm. And in the first movie, it does that same gesture, the same monster. I noticed that.
Which one is it?
I don't know. I was gonna applause, but I remember there's no applause.
There's not.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
They kidnap the guy and then
they
go back, and then they go.
Mandalorian goes home, remember?
Yes.
And there's like it's like raining, and the guy shows up with the dog, the other bounty hunter. That guy's also a character from a cartoon, I think.
Is a new character?
No, I think he's from the Clone Wars also. His name is like Embo or something.
So everyone was like from an animated.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really that necessary because we don't even see. He's just a bounty hunter that gets hired, and then he shows up, and then at the end of the movie he just walks away. Probably because we've already seen like the end of his story in another thing that's set after this. What are you doing?
I wanted to follow the.
And he has this like hat on.
Oh yeah, like the cool hat, like the flat.
It blocks like.
I jumped.
Is he alright? Yeah. And it blocks laser blasts, and there's times I'm like, it's really useful for the off chance that somebody shoots you directly from above to your head. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like a very useful item unless somebody's shooting you directly from above.
I mean, that's the style, though. You have like a style.
All right.
Yeah.
He does use it as like a shield, like Captain America later in the movie.
Cool.
That was cool.
Or like Cap.
Yeah, then Mandalorian gets captured and taken to the huts because he crossed them by not giving him his son. Or the nephew. Sorry.
You always say the son.
Nephew. This is why.
I kept going, the nephew.
This is why, okay? Because, like I said, Star Wars reuses the same concepts, and it's clear to me that they wanted to use Jabba the Hutt and have this story of a Hutt crime boss. And
what's up with these names? The Boba Hutt.
Boba Fett Hutt. It's aliens. They're all aliens.
Boba Hutt.
Din Djarin.
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut. No, they but they already killed Jabba in the original movies, and you can't retcon that or change that. So they're like, we'll just have a different Hutts and still have him kidnap or save Jabba's son. They have like their own palace instead of Jabba's palace in the original movie. They have their own palace that's like a swamp, and the part where they capture Mandalorian and they have like a trapdoor under him. Jabba also has that in the original Return of the Jedi.
Wow, so they're reusing.
They're just redoing the same things. Like obviously
the same.
I'm like, yeah, they're just recycling. That's where the parts.
Maybe Star Wars fans like that.
They do. They love that.
I mean,
they love that so much. I'm glad that you're realizing this now.
Yeah.
They just want the same things. I think this strikes a good middle ground because they have Baby Yogurt and he has the Force and he's like a
yogurt.
Baby Yogurt, Baby Gogurt, and but there's no lightsabers in this movie, which is surprising. It's like the first Star Wars movie to not have any lightsabers in it.
Oh yeah, I do.
No,
because he's not a Jedi.
Yeah, he's not a Jedi.
So why would he?
But even they've had movies not starring Jedi where a guy shows up at the end and is like, "Here's my lightsaber," like Darth Vader shows up in one.
What?
Yeah, they do that. Star Wars does that a lot too. They'll have every movie and show. They'll just have Darth Vader show up at the end, even if he's not a part of the plot. It's a whole can of worms.
Canon.
Yeah, a whole cannon of worms.
Canon.
Can of worms. Oh, okay.
They're not worms,
not
they're
funny.
like crickets.
Okay. And then he fights more big monsters in the water.
Oh yeah.
That big that thing was cool.
Yes.
They took off his helmet too. Pedro, you can see Pedro Pascal's face.
I was like, please. I mean, how can we know that's Pedro Pascal? That's like a stunt. Like that's just.
His name was first in the credits. Where has he been this whole movie?
I was like, I want to see his face, and then I was like, why? Like, I asked you in the movie, it's like, why is he not taking his helmet off?
That's part of his. I didn't know what to call it. I called it a group. It's more of like a creed, which kind of like it's kind of a cult. If you be honest, I don't.
A cult?
A little bit.
The Mandalorians are a cult?
A little bit, yeah, because they have like this. They all like they used to have a whole planet of Mandalorians,
Okay.
and then it got destroyed.
Okay.
And there was like a few of them left, and they're in like last time they were like in a cave.
Before the 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, before this movie, there were no Mandalorians?
There were the whole planet. I think before the Mandalorian show, the planet got destroyed, and then they were just like scattered about. Mandalorian was like part of one.
Were
where
they
all
like
live in a
important for the movies? Like
not in the
before?
movies.
No?
In the show. In the
oh.
Clone Wars, the animated show.
They're not Mandalorians in the prequels.
No. There's Boba Fett and Jango Fett. They wear like the same kind of helmet, but they're not Mandalorian. They just stole that helmet probably.
Okay. So that's recent, the Mandalorian in Star Wars universe.
Yeah, the first season of the show came out like 2018, so it's fairly recent. But yeah, so he's like, no, he can't have anything else see his face. And in the first season, a droid sees his face because he's like injured and he has to get fixed. And then the second one, he shows his face to Baby Yoda right before Luke takes him because he's never gonna see him again. And then in the third season, I told you this. In the third season, Pedro Pascal's face is not in it at all because he was never on set doing the movie. He was like doing voice work, so they just didn't have. And they had a whole plot about him like doing this ritual to undo. Because if somebody sees your face, you become outcast from the creed. So he has to do this ritual to come back in the creed, and then never take his helmet off. And I guess because he kills everyone who saw his face in this movie.
Well, true.
That's what he says. He's like, you all have to die if you saw my face. Okay.
He's in a cult.
He's in a cult.
Okay.
That's the weird thing. I don't know. This is not. This is not a Mandalorian season 3
Is Star Wars
review.
a cult?
It is a cult. Star Wars is a cult. I'm saying that right here, right now. Star Wars fans are cultists. The fight with the snake, that felt like the end of the movie, like the last fight of the movie to me.
Yeah, sure.
The movie's very long. I was like, damn, this movie's quite long. It's like over 2 hours long. Because he fights the thing, and the thing like bites him, and it's like poisoned.
Or was it like it was a? Oh yeah,
Yeah, and I didn't realize it at first. They don't really do a good job of like signaling it, but like after he escapes and he's like fighting in the
no,
woods.
but they said it like, oh, even if you like survive, you're still gonna die because of the poison.
But after that, they have him fight in the woods. I like that part where he fights in the woods and the music's like kind of eerie.
Oh.
And that's supposed to be like you think he's like about to die. Like they don't signal that much. So when he like falls over, I'm like, oh, he's just taking a nap. But that's supposed to be like you think like, is he dead? But they don't signal like him like that's gonna like he's about to die that much. So I'm like, oh, this is supposed to be like a fake out death scene. And then he fought them.
But they were you're missing the monkeys, the little.
Oh,
monkeys.
the little.
Those I really like. They were like they had like this really tiny spaceship, and then baby Grogu, he was like barely the spaceship, and then they were like these tiny monkeys, and I was like, they're so cute. And then of course when they're like running, they're like, the Mandalorian is like, oh yeah, how he runs, oh so cute. But what's the name of
What?
Dian? The Mandalorian.
Pedro Pascal.
Mando. He saw the ship was like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna fit in there. You guys can go. And I was like, no. And then I told you, Grogu needs to stay.
Of course he has to stay.
He has to. And I didn't know that this guy has like, he has like powers when like he cures. He like.
Oh yeah, the Force. That's the Force. He can force heal. Yeah, he's done it before. The Force.
So
heal.
everybody that has the Force can like cure.
I don't know, cause Baby Yoda is the first person that we see do Force healing, and then we see like in one of the movies that came out after.
The other one, the old.
Force healing's not. They're always adding. Yeah, Yoda. We never see Yoda do that.
Never.
No.
So how do you know that's the Force?
Because it is. Because if he goes like this with his hand and he closes his eyes, that's the Force. The Force is it makes no sense. They're always adding new things that it can do. So don't feel bad if you don't understand.
Okay.
But yeah, he heals, but he
He
heals the wound, but he's still poisoned.
He's still poisoned, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he takes care of him.
That was nice.
It was a really long scene though. Oh my gosh.
A while, yeah.
I don't know.
Because I think they wanted to show, because I was like, halfway through the movie, I was like, what arc is Mandalorian? Is there any progress being made with the characters here? And I guess with the part with Baby Yoda taking care of Mandalorian and by himself, that's supposed to be like the progression being made with the characters is like Baby Yoda can be more independent. He can, he's starting to grow up and he doesn't need to, Mandalorian says he's like the young take care of the old after the old's taking care of the young. So it's kind of like
I
that's
didn't
kinda
know
cute.
that this guy couldn't talk.
Oh yeah, I thought he was gonna say his first words in this.
I
I've
didn't
been
know.
waiting.
So, and then when I heard him saying, like, not saying, but like sounding like a baby, I was like, oh my gosh. But then I wanted to ask, like, how old is actually Grogu?
He's 50.
50 years.
50. Yeah, they grow really slow.
Or slow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was waiting for him to say like, Dad, or like say like
Dad?
some kind of word.
Dad.
Like, hey, what's up?
Are you my father?
Yeah. Are you the reverse
Are you
of
my
Darth Vader?
father?
You are my father.
You are my father. You are my dad.
You're my dad.
You're my dad.
What else?
Aw. I know. Where's that?
Aww.
Aw.
I said, yeah, Grogu finally does something.
Yes.
Finally, after 3 seasons of him just being there, he does something. He's able to do something other than just go like with his hand.
So for 3 seasons.
Well, he doesn't do anything like that. Like he doesn't like walk and steal a fish from a guy and build a mud hut. That was cute.
Like how he was like.
Yeah, I like his little puppet
like
hands.
the hands were like.
Mm-hmm. I like how he moves like kind of like a Muppet because he is a part like a puppet. A lot of it's like practical. Yeah, he doesn't have legs like that.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Some of it's like an animatronic, like robot things.
Yeah.
And some of it's like puppeting his arms.
That was nice.
It's cute. The thing with this, there's a part at the end where he's like, because the little monkey creatures, they're like, we call some help. And then all the X-Wings show up and Sigourney Weaver's there. And the guy with the cowboy hat is there. Remember all the ships show up?
Yeah, it's older. Yeah.
That's another thing where I'm like, also ends with the rebels showing up and saving the day. Typical Star Wars.
So the Mandalorian was like, saved.
Yeah, he was saved. And he goes, I want you to blow up this place that I'm in. And Sigourney Weaver's like, but you're still in there. And he's like, I can't hold them for much longer. And it's just the guys that he's been killing, the little robot. I like those droids that he's fighting in there because they're like, you don't know this, but they're made of like different pieces from different kinds of droids, like kind of mixed together.
And then Grogu goes like in one, like he goes.
Oh yeah, he goes in. He's like unplugging things.
The cables and stuff. I was like, that was cute.
And Mandalorian's like, I can't hold him off. He's hiding behind something. But I was just thinking, because his armor that he wears, his silver armor, it looks cool, and it's also like impenetrable. It's made of this thing called Beskar. Not even a lightsaber can cut through it. Like it literally, like blasters can't pierce through it. So I'm like, what's the danger that Mandalorian's facing right now? If they shoot him, it's just gonna bounce off of him. Even with the snake thing, it bites him like in the black part, like not the armored part. No, like I don't know why there's no urgency because he's not gonna get shot to death unless they find a way to take off his helmet and shoot him in the face. And he's taking out these robots really easily. But yeah, they go, we're about to blow up the place, and they jump into the water they save Rada.
Oh yeah.
Rada's getting tortured. They're like zapping his brain.
I was like, don't touch him, to Grogu. That was like, oh.
Yeah.
That was nice.
And they all jump in, and Zeb saves them.
I like the part where the snake swallows the
two big fat huts.
Right, no. Where's the ew?
That one. The
I
twins.
was like,
good.
That's good.
You see them like the bulge inside of the snakes.
You can see like the
so
snakes like swallowing. It was like I was like, yes. And the other guy didn't help.
Which guy?
The
purple guy?
Not the purple guy. The other one.
Rada?
He also looks like one of the X-Men's.
Oh, yeah,
purple.
Beast?
Yes.
When he was doing, he had that one fight scene where he's like jumping around the hallway.
Yeah, that
pretty
reminds
cool.
me of one of the X.
Which guy didn't help?
Oh, they're like, save us, hey, because they're like paid him, the guy with like the weird hat,
With the weird hat.
the rubber guy, with the dog.
Oh yeah.
He
Oh yeah,
left
because
them.
he's a bounty hunter. They just hire
Yeah,
him for jobs, but he has no loyalties to anyone.
He left them right there.
Yeah, and he disappears into the shadows. He probably shows up in another cartoon, and that's where he dies or something. So they couldn't kill him in this one. I have no earthly idea about what happens to Embo. I like this dog.
Oh, Embo is
I think that's his name.
the dog. Like how Grogu was like.
Yeah,
and
the
then
dog was nice for a little
was,
bit.
Like nice. I was like, oh.
And then what happens after they pick him up in the ship? They fly away.
And then they go back to the Republic, and then
Yeah.
they gave Rada a job there, and they're like,
Oh, yeah.
we have a suit for you.
He cannot fit in those ships, definitely. I don't know what he's gonna do for the New Republic.
I don't know, but
I like at the end they're the four of them, the Zeb, Rada, Yoda, like all these ugly aliens.
and the monkeys.
Oh yeah, and the little monkeys.
The monkeys.
This is like such a nice pack of characters.
Yes.
And what happens? The movie just ends after that.
Yeah.
What's the last scene? I forget what the last scene is. Oh yeah, they fly away.
They fly away.
He's like, you can press the
I like the transitions. Were
button.
like interesting. In
the
movie.
wipes.
Yes, they're like.
Yeah, the screen wipes, because that's just how it was in the
Or,
original
like,
movies.
I don't know. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
That was just a choice. It's kind of like whimsical, because like kind of like a fantasy movie. And it says the Mandalorian and Grogu, and then the movie ends, and we walked out. There probably wasn't any post-credit scene.
I was waiting. I was like, are there?
Star Wars doesn't have post-credit.
And then everybody clapped.
And then everybody clapped, and I stood up and I went, amazing.
Oh my gosh! They're like, wow.
And everyone clapped. I wouldn't have been surprised if Mandalorian died in this movie.
What?
Even because there was the 3 seasons of the show
Maybe they need
and the
him for.
movie.
Maybe they're doing like a
What are they? They're gonna have a 4th season after the movie?
reboot.
Reboot. Star Wars does not do that. They do not reboot.
No?
No matter how complicated the universe. Well, they did kind of reboot. Not the movies though, or the shows. Just the comics and the books.
Oh. Okay.
The Star Wars though is so complicated.
Maybe they're gonna do one when like Grogu is like
He's old.
20, no, like 200. Years.
Mandalorian would be dead by that time. Just be this Baby Yoda by himself.
Or like 100. So the
100.
Mandalorian
He's
was like
old.
old.
I've
And
been-
now he
yeah.
takes care of him like, I don't know.
I've been
like,
waiting this whole time to see where Baby Yoda comes from, the planet.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
where are this creatures coming from? Like the green, like they have. I told you that like they're born with the Force, and you're
Mhm.
like,
I
yes.
think so, because the big mystery in season 1, the first episode, he finds him, Baby Yoda. He like captures this cargo, and he's like, there's a baby in here, and then he's just kind of there. And then the next season, they're like, where do you come from? And they're like, he was training to be a Jedi, and that's where Luke shows up and he takes him. He's like, I'm gonna train him to be a Jedi. But the whole time I was always like, oh, I thought they meant they were gonna go to his planet, because we've only ever seen 3 of that species. There's him, there's Yoda, and there's the character who's in the background of one of the movies called Yaddle. There's like a girl, Yoda, and they're all Force users.
And they're all green.
They're all green.
Okay.
Yeah, they all have the same ears.
Oh.
And I assume that these creatures, those aliens, are like super. They all have like natural Force abilities. I assume that's why they're special.
He reminds me of Dobby.
The ears.
Harry Potter. Dobby.
This episode is not about Harry Potter.
Sorry.
Lock in. Sorry.
Harry Potter is more interesting though. Just saying.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Harry Potter is her Star Wars, probably. Yeah, we never know where Baby Yoda's parents. I guess the parents aren't important. I guess to Baby Yoda, or the planet. I wanted to see a whole planet of Yodas. I was like, is he Yoda's son? Maybe probably not.
Who
Jedi's.
was Yoda's wife?
Who was Yoda? Was it Yaddle? Are they?
Uh-huh.
Maybe they were brother and sister though. I don't know.
I mean, but
We don't know.
They don't care if there are siblings in the Star Wars
True.
universe.
That
so,
shocked her when she saw the
Yeah, I was like, what?
kiss between Luke and Leia. They didn't know
Um,
that when they wrote the movies either, so that was a late addition.
Yep. So.
Oops. And that's the movie. That's the
Yep.
Mandalorian and Grogu. Apparently, this movie is not making any money. Like, nobody's seeing this one.
They're like, that's the worst.
Nobody's seeing this one. A lot of people probably hate it.
They've been promoting this movie like crazy.
Yeah, they have Pedro Pascal go to every country on the planet.
Yeah.
They're having like Baby Yoda show up too, the little like animatronic Yoda. That's cute.
And then Happy's there.
Happy's there because did he direct the movie? I don't think he maybe he directed the movie.
What are you doing here?
He directed the show. Jon Favreau.
Okay.
He was like the creator of the show. Yeah, I was gonna ask what your just overall opinion
I like
on
the movie.
movie.
I felt like you didn't need to like understand a lot.
It did a good job
because
yeah.
I got most.
You were able to get it.
Yeah.
They weren't like. I mean, they never even say like. There's never like another Mandalorian in the movie. There was that was a big part of the show. There was always other Mandalorians. None of them show up. They don't even say Mandalorian's real name. There's a lot of things that they were just like, we don't need to talk about this.
Oh, his name was Mando.
That's what everybody calls him, Mando.
Mando, yeah, Mando.
And
the movie was good.
Yeah, it was kind of, it was good. I think most people are just like, yeah, it was all right, but like middle of the road. I watched one guy talk about it, and he was like, no lightsabers, no emperor.
Because they like the same.
No
things.
emperor. That's like Star Wars.
Wow.
That's the Star Wars fan equivalent of like how Marvel fans are like. There was no Spider-Man in the Daredevil show. You don't know. I talked about that on the podcast. How much that annoys me when people say that.
There's no Spider-Man in Daredevil.
Yeah, everyone's like,
why would it be a Spider-Man?
That's what I'm saying. Because they're just both in New York.
Everybody's in New York, though. I mean,
imagine if every show ended with all the Avengers showing up.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry,
no.
I'm glad you agree.
Yes.
But I think Star Wars fans are used to that. Like they're used to like Darth Vader showing up every single time. There was a show that just came out recently, an animated show, and Darth Vader shows up at the end again, like he did in Rogue One, and in the games, I like those games, but Darth Vader shows up in both of them for like one fight scene near the end of the game. They really love bringing up Darth Vader. Does this make you want to watch any more Star Wars things?
No.
Damn. Nothing at all. Not even the other, like the Mandalorian show.
Okay, it's because I mean,
you're not offending me.
The thing is, listen.
Canceled.
I'm gonna get canceled. This is the only time you're gonna see me in this podcast. I already got canceled. But I think, I don't know, for someone that wants to start in the Star Wars, I don't think The Mandalorian is like a good start.
You think so?
I think, I don't know. I mean, The Mandalorian, for someone that doesn't know, for me it was good.
I guess so. Yeah, you probably want to start with like something that has lightsabers.
Maybe like they want to see like the lightsabers and stuff, but The Mandalorian, you don't see those. No.
I guess I said before, I was like, I don't think there's anybody who isn't a fan of Star Wars who's going to see this movie. Because it's so like dependent on bringing back characters from cartoons, and it's the movie based off of 3 seasons of a show. But I feel like it does a good job, even if you don't know anything about Star Wars. You could watch this one. I liked it.
I mean,
I would recommend this to someone who isn't a fan of Star Wars.
Exactly. If you want to, like.
As I said, for me, there were the elements that were like they reused all the times some of them were in here, but you didn't notice that. Like to you, it was fresh. So
for me,
I think
it's
it's good.
If someone wants to like get to like know all the Star Wars lore, I think don't
do it. It's not worth it.
No. But
I know more than anyone.
Someone that just wants to go to like go to the movie theater and just watch a good movie, I will definitely recommend it.
I liked a lot of the action.
Yeah, the action.
Although sometimes Mandalorian moves kind of slow because of the big bulky armor. I don't. That's kind of a.
I like how he walks. Like.
Oh yeah, he walks.
He walks like really.
Is that Pedro Pascal's acting? Is that his choice to do? His creative choice? I don't know. He walks kind of like.
He was like, I don't know.
Kind of a runway model. That's all for this episode, I guess. Yes. We don't have time to talk about anything else.
No.
I was going to talk about the Devil Wears Prada 2, but we don't have time for that, unfortunately.
Wow. Unfortunately. I had to say so much. I can go for so another 2 hours right here.
But unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you all for listening to this episode. Next week, I'm not even sure what I'll talk about. I'll probably talk about Devil Wears Prada by myself. And if anything else comes out between then.
Yeah, because if I'm here again, I'm going to get canceled again.
She's going to get vicious. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.